Alright, there were two comments on the video movement diversity that I really liked, and there were some questions in these comments, so I want to answer. So I will read out the first comment, and then the second comment is an answer to the first comment. So I will read the first one. Nice thoughts and concept, which seems to be also kind of a paradox. I wonder how you tackle this challenge in your everyday practice. When to diversify and when to dig deeper into, let's say, one specific movement or movement pattern. Kind of the question, which movement pattern is worth of spending some extra time on it. I would guess on one hand it's a lot about what feels right for me in a specific moment in time or period in my life. On the other hand, it will sometimes, or maybe mostly, also be especially these movements, patterns that come not naturally to me, and hence offer also a bigger opportunity to grow. And that's where the coach mentor comes in. I would be interested what your thoughts are on this. Yeah, very nice question. And now let's look at an answer that someone provided here that I also liked. So I will read this one. I ask myself the same questions, and here are some of my thoughts. First, basic movement patterns and body mechanics, also on a somatic level with super slow movements, full of awareness, like Feldenkrais, but strength exercises. Do the movements which give you a whole feeling. Learn to feel what your body needs and break your movement patterns, which results, if you take a look at embodiment theories, to mental freedom, to diversity. In the end, it's the same then with doing the same thing. It's all about awareness. Moving your shoulders differently brings more aspect of it into your consciousness, which gives you a better overview. You create like a map of it, what's possible. From there you move. Which parts of the map are placed, which feel good, are known, which are more vivid, which parts are unclear, foggy. After exploring the map for a while, you can create a route, a way, where you want to go, what you need for the journey. Just some thoughts, looking forward to see input from other people. Good, yeah, really thanks to both people that commented here, because I think, yeah, many things have been already answered by the first person, by him or herself, and the second person added some valuable things as well. Good, so yes, we have, in a sense, yeah, can we call it a paradox? I'm not even sure if this is the right word for it, but we have two things that seem opposite, but that are both true at the same time. So this is an ambivalent situation, or an ambiguity. Yeah, both things are true. One thing that I believe in is very, very valuable is diversity, and another thing I really believe in is to stay with one thing and to focus. But the question is just, what's the balance of these two? How much time do we want to spend with the one, and how much time do we spend with the other? And like the person that was raising the question was already saying, it's a thing about what do you need at the moment, and this changes through time. And in my, let's say, method, in my methodical approach, I would first build the level of diversity more. So first put my time more into this, and then go into some things much more specifically, more deep, and focus on them. But also in the diversity there's focus, because diversifying doesn't mean necessarily that you always have to do everything at the same time. So you also periodize things, because time is limited. And even if you have the whole day for practicing, even then you will need to periodize, because there's so many things that you can possibly do. So you choose some topics and work on them. And if you're more balancing, if your balance is more towards diversity, then it will be more topics, or let's say within the topics there's more different things happening. But at the same time, it will never be everything every day, but there will be weekly cycles, there will be monthly cycles, yearly cycles, and so on and so forth. And through this you balance out these two approaches, the approach of being more focused on one thing and the approach of looking at the whole, at looking at everything. So you create a map of the environment with both, that's very true, it's both are in a sense approaches to create a map, and both are very much benefiting from each other. If, let's say, you explored the map more horizontally, so more diversity, you will benefit, your vertical exploration will benefit, and your horizontal exploration will also benefit from the vertical exploration, if the balance is right. If you are diversifying all the time and never stay with something, you will probably stall your understanding and progress, because you're too much jumping from one to the other. And if you're spending too much time with just one thing, you will probably also stall with your progress, because you lack new stimuli for your training, and it will be also difficult for you to see your weak links. So if you train, if you move diverse, you will expose your weak links, and this is always what's happening. Yeah, always when people practice with us, their weak links are exposed very quickly. And that can be frustrating, and that's why people like to also stay with their specificity often. To give you a practical example, in our group classes, we are usually having a chunk of movement diversity, which is about doing lots and lots of different patterns and movements. As I already mentioned, it's never, by far, never everything. But the idea is to move diverse. And then we have another chunk in our group training, which is the focus. And for a 2-hour session, that would be usually that we spend around half, or let's say 45 minutes this and 1 hour 15 this. Yeah, this is around the balance that we are aiming at here. In the end, it depends also on how you have practiced until this point. Have you practiced more diverse? Have you practiced more focused on one thing? And also, what does your intuition tell you? Good. Thanks for the questions. It's very enjoyable to have good and interesting comments on YouTube videos, because it's very rare.